What is up, guys? Don here with Project Reliable, and like I told you in another video, we were going to be doing the power steering fluid. So first things first, the engine is actually pretty cool. Right now I actually just put some oil in it because we lost some at some point and I'm not sure quite when, but that is okay. So today is power steering fluid. Remember which way it is to open this thing, because we do have quite a bit of a leak. And I'll upload some photos later on, but we do have quite a bit of a leak of the power steering fluid. Now I don't have a catch can to do this, so I have a cup. Yeah, I have a plastic cup here to act as my catch can. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start pumping out the power steering fluid. There we are. Now it's got fluid running up. Because we do have to empty out the reservoir prior to so we do have to empty out the reservoir prior to doing any work here. I did go to O'Reilly's and get some power steering lines, so I just want to make sure that the reservoir is going to be empty when we're doing this today. Because, like I said in the beginning, we do have a leak. Oh, this fluid is very brown towards the end there. Just make sure I do get it all out from all aspects. And then I'm going to go ahead and get inside the car, and I'm going to go ahead and turn the wheel lock to lock, just to empty out any other fluids here. Just to pump the rest of what I can into the reservoir. It does seem that we are running it empty, so there we go. So we're gonna pull the rest of that there and see if I can't send it up the line. Alright. So with that being said, let's go ahead now and move on to turning the wheel lock to lock. Like I said earlier, we're just going to go ahead and do that. Alright, so there we go. Wheel has been turned lock to lock. Let's just get our cup and our pump pump out here. These headlights should be auto. That's not what they should turn off. And we're just trying to make sure that we did get all the fluid that we possibly could have out of the system. Because, yeah, see, there was just a bit more fluid in the system. Not something you want when you're trying to change a fluid line, because you don't want to get dirty, you know, so. Alright. Over here to the other side. Okay. Alright, back there's good. And I'm kind of just making sure I get the lines. Alright. So now with that being said, to go ahead and pull out the cup here. Power steering fluid, set this off to the side. Okay, so now the power steering fluid is empty. Now it's time to go ahead and start with the this is the line that we are replacing today, as this is leaking power steering fluid all over to the pressurized line. Alright, so here we go again. Got a screwdriver here. And we're going to go ahead and loosen, that's a flathead. So the screwdriver I grabbed the first time was the right screwdriver. So we can go in here and loosen this up here. And then take a quick visual inspection at the line. So that one's loose. And then right down here is another one. I'm gonna have to wait a little bit for the motor to cool down because this one here is right next to the motor. So as you can see, it's a very small, well, you can see, not yet, at least you can't see, but it's a very small piece of line. So go ahead, loosen it on both ends. Put that up there. Let's see if we can take this line off. Oh wow, that feels stiff and unresponsive. Which could be the reason for our leak. Oh, it's not wanting to come off. Maybe at least I pulled off the lower line first? I'm not sure here, guys. Yeah. Let's see if I can pressure it out of there. A little bit better. What the hell is the screwdriver? Be careful not to pinch my own skin there. I wonder if there's a lip here or something. Let's continue to loosen this. Let's see, is there like a little lip here or something that's having trouble getting over, or is it being blocked by something else? That is the question to be asking, and I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm looking here at this one though. This one looks like it should just pull straight up and off. The dog bone here is actually getting in the way. So I may have to get that out the way just to help a little bit, because that's the main issue now. I can't get enough upwards pull on it because the dog bone is... Oh wait, I got it. Alrighty then. Flip this side out. There we go. So, I don't know how well you guys can see this, but here is the transmission, the power steering fluid line, and it is just as dried out as can be. Let's pull this guy off. Oh yeah, look at that. When I turned to get the thing off, it shredded into the line. This might just actually be the original line, and at some point it just got to the point that it couldn't support doing this anymore. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead, trim a line this exact same length. You can just buy it at your local auto parts store. In fact, here's the line that I grabbed from my local O'Reilly's. Yeah, we should be in business, because those just look stretched out as can be. So I'm gonna go ahead and replace the line. and we'll see what happens. I'm going to cut a piece the same length, so we'll do that. And then put the line back on, and we should be driving like new. Alright guys, so I got the new tube cut. So now here comes the fun part, and that is going to be to squeeze everything on. Yeah, that's basically the definition of the fun part. So let's go ahead and do that. We have this rear one here. It should be able to, yeah, perfect. Just slide on just like that. And then we'll squeeze this down in here to the metal line right here. Where that metal line is at. So, and that's going to be a fun squeeze to try to get that on there. See if we can lubricate that in any way here we can. So, yeah. Okay, that's a tight hole. So it's going to be a tight fit to get it in the way we want to, but nonetheless, we're going to try. At least the hose isn't, or at least the metal part that we're looking for right here, isn't like way down on the power steering. Alright, so go ahead and do this. And try our damnedest here to get this on. But you know what might be a better starting point might be the this side of the tube. We're trying to fit this onto the nub here. Because once it's on this nub, at least have one spot where it's grounded in. So yep, that we put tube there on the nub. And if this doesn't work, I have one more trick up my sleeve. That's some fuel line. So we're going to try this again with another line. This one is fuel line, or power steering line. This one's a little bit more malleable, but because it's fuel line, we should be fine. Anyway. Go ahead and see if you can squeeze this up onto that nub there. Alright, there we go. We got a little bit on the nub. So now it's all just about getting the rest of this nubbed on. The rest of this over the nub. And that is proving to be the hardest part of this challenge, especially with slick hands. So let's make some paper towels. Man, you gotta love oils. Okay, so I'm also gonna kind of wipe off the line down here. Try to get a steady hand hold on it here. Okay. Come on. You can do it. I would say this where you got a little bit up, but I mean it's already lubed, so you know. Kind of no point in saying that. Okay. Well, it's really over the nub now at this point, so all I'm trying to do now is just slide it back further and further onto the posts there. And well, that's kind of half the fun with DIY car repairs instead of sending it to a mechanic. But at the same time, you get to do your repairs. So that is the nice part of it, the fun part. Is that sense of accomplishment after you finish the repair, that you did something. They have this thing is, it is not wanting to cooperate, to stay on. Not stay on, it's stayed on. But it's not wanting to cooperate when it comes to sliding on. And I think that's just because my hands are far too slick. Oh yeah. It's just because my hands are too slick. Grab around a paper towel and slides on easily. Not easily, it still takes some elbow grease, but at least it's moving as to compare from before, where it wasn't moving at all. And because I accidentally wiped off the fluid from there. Camry came unlubricated. Easier if it wasn't such a tight space. So I may, like I say, I may go ahead and take this off here. The dog bone, just to kind of help space. So I have more to grab. But we'll continue to try. And pull this thing off. Really lost its lubricating properties. Whew. Alright, so at the very least the front of this thing on, it's now time to turn the hose downwards here. Looking at the next portion of this challenge, and that is the lower hose slash line. That is the next thing to have to take care of here, as it is continuously letting fresh fluid out. So I'm going to change some gloves so I can get to a non-slick state, and I will see you guys when I'm back. Okay guys, so I'm back. Dry gloves. Let's try to put this hose on. Oh my goodness, how much power steering fluid that thing has been throwing up. It's crazy. Look at that, look at that. I mean, so we're going to put this to the side. We're also going to grab this. Which kind of just ruined the whole dry glove thing. Alright, so part of me feels like this is somehow too long. Let me get some scissors and cut that again because it's definitely too long. Let's say we had a child. Bam, blam, blam, dang, dang, wow. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and cut this tube here because it's 100% too long. Way too long. With tubing, what's important to remember is you don't go cut, kind of go back to the back of the scissors, kind of squeeze, and you gotta let it go. And look for the cut mark. Alright. Squeeze. And yep, so that it's cutting. So then I just kind of pull. And done. And I'm also going to do something a little controversial here. I'm actually going to separate the tubing here on the inside while I have the leverage of the scissors here. Help me make that a little bit wider, make it a little bit easier to go on. So we're going to go ahead and twist the tube around and back down to the spot where it needs to go. Could it be that I'm just an idiot? Possibly. That's actually a very big possibility in all this. I'm an idiot. So. Looks like we'll have to fight one little lip. That seems to be all that we'll have to fight with this tube. Not even a tube, just... Alright, now we're going to go ahead and take this off. Alright, so I had to go ahead and make this Camry submit to me taking out the dog bone. And it looks good. Looks really good, a little rusty, but either way, just had to get that out. Allows me a little bit more clearance to work with. And honestly, I should have just removed this part. So we're gonna go ahead and do that now. Go ahead and remove the mounts because that's just going to give us a little bit more space that we need to work with. Not that we need to, but just that we can, you know. A little bit more space to work with is always a nice thing. And there we go. Alright. Once again, just want to overestimate the power of my fingers. Simple ingenuity. These are thick old bolts. Look, I may be young, but I take care of my car. And this car was not given to me in the best conditions. But it's a Toyota, so it still runs no matter what. Perks of owning a Toyota. Anyway, now we can take the bracket off. P.S. That will be coming off later. In a different video, entirely. That video will be coming soon. That video is going to be a front end suspension rebuild, along with a full motor mount rebuild as well. So stay tuned for that video. It will be coming out. It may be a few months, but it will be here for you lovely people that decide to watch my videos. even though I'm not a big content creator. Yeah, thank you. Alright, so now the fun part. Now we got the super hard parts of being able to work down here out of the way. Now we're going to try to slide the hose here onto this lower tubing, metal tubing. I think I got it. I did get it indeed. Now it's on the hose, on the metal part of the hose down there. The thing is, now it's soaking wet down there, so I gotta dry it all off and come back. Wet is nice when it helps you. Wet is not nice when it makes your hands super slick and unable to work with anything down here. I'm just going to try to kind of get some of that slickness off there. See if I can push from the top at the same time. It's not wanting to go anywhere. But it did pass the little lip that it needed to pass. So now it's really all just about gripping it and sliding it on that tube. So I'm gonna grab a pair of pliers and see if I can get some help that way. Alright, so now I've got myself a pair of pliers here. Try to help me grip these tubes and slide them on where they're supposed to be. Especially when you're past the nub. Even these are some. They're not helping that much. And it is allowing me to kind of get in there with two hands and put 2 hands worth of pressure. Just trying to grip this tubing and pulling it on. Pain within itself. The thing is, it's an oil. It's let me oil that nub. Ow. Okay, that should help. Now it should help greatly with trying to get it to move up. Damn, it is not letting me slide on, guys. It's not letting me slide on no matter what I try. Try this one down here a little bit more. It's just not wanting to go on down there where I need to. Okay, so that one. I can't get it to go on. It's on over the major cliff. Boy, that side is on. Woo! Now, now this side's on, we have to focus on this side. Alright.
Cardboard. You don't have enough money left over to like snip it out, customize it, you get.
With not too much time left, I'm gonna have to go over here pretty fast. I'm gonna reinstall the old tubing, but I'm gonna clip it down a little bit harder on this old tubing, just to make sure that it holds until I can get the proper OEM tubing from Toyota. In order to make sure this thing holds tight. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll get it in the car and I'll see you guys. I should turn it off. Fuck. Alright, so I have all the lines reconnected. I just got to tighten everything down and then refill the fluid reservoir here with fluid, obviously. And then I will go ahead and I'll see you guys then. Alright guys, this was a great one. Turns out that the solution was a little easier than it seemed to be. But I'm new to the car community. I used to drive a 14 Ford Fusion, now I drive this because the transmission went on the Fusion. I'm new to the car community, so I'm going to make mistakes. And when I make mistakes, I want you guys to correct me down in the comments, alright? I want to see what you guys know. Okay, I want to learn. Besides that, I'm going to be doing a paint chip fix on this old Camry because she is full of paint chips here on the front. Besides that, the only other thing I'm going to do to her is a full suspension rebuild because she needs it pretty bad. That's the major things that are coming up. The smaller things that are coming up, we're going to go ahead and make her into a sport model. Now I know the SE Camry of this generation, the XV30 was rare, but they were out there. So We're going to go ahead and turn her into a sport model Camry. We're going to lower her a little bit, make it a little bit more sporty. But I hope that you guys are going to stick around for Project Reliable and help me out. And just to let you guys know, I'm going to do something special for my first 100 subscribers. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching this video. Peace.